guys, and welcome back to another video. I have my light today. Okay, I'm professional. If you like this video, leave me a like, leave me a comment, and definitely subscribe to my channel because it really helps my channel grow. So today I want to talk about the world doesn't revolve around your mood. That's the title for today's video. And it's funny, like I mean it in like a funny way, but it's the truth. The world doesn't revolve around your mood. It does not revolve around your emotions. And you know, I have a lot of like passion and deep empathy for like people that are very emotional, and especially when it's working against you in your life, because until I like literally did the inner work and personal development stuff on myself to temper my own emotions and like learn how to process them and work through them and not have them come out in these like inappropriate ways, I feel like my life was controlled by my emotions, and emotions are fleeting. They are constantly changing. So over time it just makes you feel so unstable and like unpredictable, and it's not a good feeling. So I have deep empathy for anybody who is struggling to like regulate their emotions, I guess I'll say. But the truth is, and this is the harsh reality, that the world does not revolve around your mood. And you need to take the time to learn how to process your emotions and not like um, especially like hot potato them onto other people for them to process them for you. And this is more common than you'd think. I even have to like constantly remind myself to not do this, because your emotions are for you. That's like your internal world. These are things that you need to figure out for yourself, for you to figure out, where it's coming from. Maybe it's coming from something else. It's not even coming from the situation that's triggering you or the person that you're blaming for making you feel this way. Like, there is a level of accountability you have to take when it comes to the emotions that you're feeling, and get the necessary help that you need. That's why I'm so passionate about mentorship and life coaching, because it's through life coaches that I learned these tools that have seriously transformed my life and my mentality and given me a sense of like stability, peace, and alternative things that I can do when I'm in that state. And the first thing that I think of when I think of how the world doesn't revolve around your mood is like, growing up, I was definitely one of those like emo teenagers. Okay, like I was so emo. You already know teenage years are a lot, but like I definitely was kind of like a depressed teen and like angry and just like super emo. Like that was just like my thing, because I was dealing with, things, and like everybody does. But the thing that I had to really come to terms with when I was going into adulthood was that just because I'm low, just because I'm depressed or I'm having these negative emotions, for me it's very real, because it's affecting the way that I see the world. It's affecting the way that I put myself out there, the way that I'm showing up. It's holding me back from maybe doing the things that I want to do. But just because that's what I'm experiencing does not mean that the world stops for me. No, the world keeps going. The world keeps going, and it's going to go no matter what. Things are going to happen. Life is going to move forward with or without you. And it's like, I feel like negative emotions really rob you of your life experience and like fulfillment if you don't learn how to manage them, temper them, and put them in their place, because they're not meant to control your life. You are in the driver's seat. Like, you are in control of your mind, you are in control of your emotions, and it takes a certain level of like mental strength and stamina and like deep desire to make your life better, and to like you have to kind of put up a fight if you deal with these things. And of course, use your own discernment. Sometimes you need to actually get professional help if you're dealing with like, traumatic experiences or what have you. But if it's just a matter of like your emotions are all over the place and you feel like this levels of chronic stress, chronic anxiety, or even feeling like you can't sit still, like you can't focus, like these can all just be consequences of not knowing how to temper and manage your emotions. And a lot of the times people think, when they think of emotional control, right, they think of like putting on a facade, putting on a mask, and being like completely stoic and not having emotions at all, like being heartless, being emotionless. But that's not really what it means. It's about putting emotions in their appropriate place and learning to manage them as they come up, but not putting them on this pedestal where they're completely controlling your life. And I was stunned, okay? I was astonished when I became an adult, and it's like I was doing these like things where I would get into this mood, and that mood would last, weeks, maybe even months. And it's like I realized that it was a certain level of like entitlement there, and like I don't know how to describe it, or almost like a weird kind of pride where you think that, I don't know. I feel like one day I woke up and I realized that life is going on anyways, regardless of how I feel. Like, while I'm, you know, putting my emotions on this high priority and letting them control me and like holding back and not fully being like basically like alive, you know, people are doing things, people are getting stuff done, people are seeing their dreams come true, people are, doing like everything is moving on. And it's like I could have used energy during that time to move forward, even small things every day, even while going through those things, if I just learned to temper my emotions and not let them control me like that. And, I've had to learn how to manage my emotions. And another way that this has shown up for me is I've talked about on my channel recently how I had to reframe what I think of when I think of work. And I had to train myself to learn to love working even, because I was in the whole like soft girl life, and I started to feel like someone should, give that to me. I talk about it in other videos. I'm not going to get into it here, but I had to reframe the way that I think of work. And guess what? Emotions play a big role in how productive you are and in your work as well, because I live in a major city, okay? You work, you eat. You don't work, you don't eat. Okay, you're going to have to sit on the sideline and watch people live these extravagant lifestyles. You're going to have to, go for a lack of resources if you don't put in some kind of work or some kind of plan and like pep in your step. Like, you kind of have to hustle here. Like, it's not really a choice, or you're going to fall behind. And guess what? It's not like this arbitrary thing, like you're going to fall behind. No, you will literally suffer the consequences of your own laziness, of your own procrastination by not being where you want in life. That's a really high price to pay for the sake of like being emotional. So it's like I feel like it's healthy sometimes to put your emotions to the side to work, and that's kind of something that actually really brought me out of a hard time in my life. I talk about it on my channel last year, was like just like literally, I'm not saying this is the solution for everybody, but it helped me. And it was like learning to love working again, giving myself goals, making my calendar have things to do, getting out there, making myself busy, like that really brought me out of this place where I was super like lamenting on my feelings, on this happened, that happened, thinking about the past, asking all of these questions. You already know the mental chatter can go on forever. It can go on forever. You have all of these unanswered questions just roaming about in your mind and causing you anxiety and stress, when really you don't need to have everything figured out. Sometimes you just have to accept things for the way they are and move on with your life. Get to a place of neutrality and use that energy to fuel other things. And I'm not the first person to talk about this. Robert Greene, one of my favorite authors, he talks about how anger actually fueled a lot of his books, because he was just like so like bothered that he wanted to like expose stuff, and he used that for his writing. So there is like a practical element of using negative emotions and like transforming them and using them as the reason to go after certain goals, almost like energy. And it's like energy is energy no matter what. So if you're allowing negative emotions to control your life, you're allowing negative energy to control your life. But you can use that negative energy to actually push you forward if you just like have that kind of strength. Okay, you need to like get yourself to that place where you're using that as like to make you better. And you know, I've even heard of another artist using, like, she had a freaking awesome music career, and in an interview they were like, where do you get all this energy, like how are you doing all of these things at one time? And she was like, you know what, I'm actually doing it to like spite the people that have wronged me. It was kind of a revenge mission, and then it just kind of got out of control. I'm not advocating for that, but it's like that just goes to show that you can even use negative emotions to push you and use it as motivation. You have to put up a fight, okay? So the world doesn't revolve around your mood. The world does not revolve around your emotions, and your world shouldn't revolve around your emotions. You got to take some level of accountability and like control over that aspect of your life, because they're fleeting. They're going to change. If you really take a seat back in your mind and listen to the thoughts that you're having all day, we go through so many different emotions in a day. If someone was like outside of you verbalizing all of the thoughts that you're thinking, all of the emotions that are fleeting and coming back and going away, you'll sound like a crazy person. It's going to sound like, what? Like, you may be, you know, it's going to sound loony. But that just goes to show you're not supposed to be like, you know, letting your emotions control you in that way. Like, there is a healthy way to put them to the side. There is a healthy way to process your emotions without, you know, expecting somebody else to do that for you. You need to take that kind of control over your life. Otherwise, you know, it's not a good thing. It's not a good thing to not have emotional control. I learned, and I've also observed in other people. So, practical ways that you can learn to process your emotions: journaling, that's the number one thing that I advocate for. Life coaching, mental reframing. 30 Days of Empress Energy is a 30-day program that I created to help you in upgrading your mentality and your self-esteem, concepts that will help you learn to process your emotions, in other words. So definitely check that out if that speaks to you. But you know, journaling was a big part of how I learned to process my emotions and regulate my emotions. And it's like, you know, your emotions are one thing, but you literally need to also care for your physical body, and that will help you get a handle on your mind as well, if that makes sense. So you can't ignore like your physical body and your health. Like, your health plays a role in how your mind is processing things. Life coaching, I'm a big advocate for. Mentorship, personal development books. Just learn as much as you can. Learn from people who have maybe been through similar things. Look at people that you admire, that you're inspired by. Learn from what they did. Create a plan, create a goal. Busy yourself with other things. Just get yourself out of your mind. Get out more, even if it's just taking a walk, you know, once or twice a day, because there's like literal truth in that helps you understand, that helps your mind, your subconscious mind, understand that the world is a big place. It helps your mind feel more expansive. It gives you that mental space just by simply going outside. That's free 99. There's not a reason to not do that. Okay, so just want to say that there is a large reward for learning how to manage your emotions and control them and put them in their appropriate place. We are human beings. We're going to experience all different kinds of emotions. But there comes a time when you have to have that level of authority over your own life and that level of like maturity where you learn how to manage your own emotions, okay? So that they're not impeding on your life, but, you know, at times fueling you to go further. You know, that happened to me with my YouTube channel. I was going through a tough time, and then I just started making videos, and it gave me something to do. It gave me a creative outlet, you know, for all my artists out there. Like, creative outlet is everything. That's how we kind of get it out of our system. Exercise is another thing. I definitely advocate for exercising. That's another way that you can channel your emotions into something positive for yourself. You know, anger, frustration are great to have in the gym because you can just, you know, work it out physically. There's nothing like it. It's an outlet. Or maybe it's a creative outlet for you. Maybe it's painting. Maybe it's making a video. Maybe it's writing music, doing your makeup, doing a cool look, taking photos, whatever it is for you. You have to find a way to channel your emotions in a way that's not going to harm you. Because if you're not conscious of this, you can channel your emotions in a way that does harm you. That's how addictions come about, you know, for example. So the world doesn't revolve around your mood, and you don't want to let your emotions control your life. You want to put them in their place and get a handle on that. I advocate for journaling. I include my process of how I process my emotions in my 30 Days of Empress Energy program. If you want to learn more one-on-one more in-depth ways of processing your emotions, definitely book a one-on-one with me. I have a Google form document down below if you want to learn more about that, where I ask you questions and see if we are compatible to do private coaching. I would love to help you one-on-one if that's what you feel like you need. Subscribe to my channel. Let me know if this video spoke to you, and I will see you again soon. Subscribe.